If you're trying to grow a sales systems or an automation agency, please stay away from these two niches. Now, I know you might be wondering, Saad, shouldn't I be talking to everyone? Doesn't every business need sales systems and sales automation in general? Well, I used to think that myself, but after working with hundreds of niches, I can tell you that some just don't work. In case it's your first time here, my name is Saad. I build sales systems for a living. I do this every single day. I went from a nightclub bouncer to freelancing and growing a sales system agency to 105K a month. And if you're wondering how I did that, well, I focused on the real value of automation, which is getting clients. In today's video, I want to save you guys the time, energy, and headaches that I had to experience working with some of the worst niches ever. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want you guys to skip all the BS, because let's be real. In order for you to grow and scale, you need to deliver without constantly refunding clients that you can't really help. So, without taking too much of your time, let's just go ahead and get started.
Okay guys, so I've worked with hundreds of niches at this point, including some of the weirdest ones like red light therapy for animals and handcraft soap for bookkeepers. And the goal of this video is to save you guys the time and energy and also the headache instead of locking yourself in a niche where you can't really fulfill and you'll have to eventually refund the clients. So we don't want that, because what we want is we want to have cash flow coming in our sales system agency so we can actually grow, right? So we want to be able to create something reliable and consistent, because as you guys know me, I'm all about creating something sustainable rather than quick wins, okay? It's like trying to lose weight by doing extreme crash diets, okay? If you guys don't know, when I used to work as a bouncer, I used to also do multiple jobs on the side, and some of them was actually a fitness trainer. And a lot of people would want to lose a bunch of weight fast, but it's extremely unsustainable, okay? So you're not really building anything that lasts. And after a few weeks, you're starving, feeling miserable, and eventually you gain all that weight back and sometimes even more. So the same principle applies. We want to build something reliable, consistent, okay? So these niches sound good on paper, but they provide little tangible results in the market, okay? So it makes absolutely no reason to go after them or try to partner with them. Okay? They're also pretty hard to work in, and they cause a lot of stress because you'll never be able to deliver the results you actually promised. And when that happens, you'll either have to refund the client or close the shop. Now, we don't want that. So the first niche that you should stay away from is going to be marketing agencies, aka SEO, PPC, web design, branding agencies, content writing agencies. And the reason why is because they always have the same issue, which is they don't understand what an offer is, okay? So you have to understand that marketing agencies provide awareness, not necessarily something tangible, okay? So it's pretty hard for them to stand out, and they usually don't have an offer in the first place, okay? So even if you try to clarify this offer for their ideal clients, if you guys don't know, there's usually like a kickoff call where you kick things off and you start the project, and essentially when you ask them, okay, what is the offer that you guys are providing? They're like, I don't know. And to give you an example, marketing agencies are like people who put up signs that say lemonade this way. So what they do is they help other businesses get noticed, but they don't actually make the lemonade taste better or help you hand cups to customers. Okay, so this is like the easiest way to explain this. And let me ask you a question. Have you noticed why most marketing agencies, not the flashiest ones with the sexiest websites, always have a clear and strong value proposition that includes clients/leads, right? So let me just give you an example. Let's compare two websites, okay? And this is actually a company. It's actually a member that is working with this company. So if you guys don't know, I offer something called First Client Reward, which is basically whenever a member lands their first client, they hop on a call with me and I help them with fulfillment. I essentially just give them a bunch of ideas how to fulfill, etc. And a member actually managed to get a deal with this company, okay? And if you noticed here, learn how we can generate 10 new patients in 14 days for your clinic. Now, this company, if you go to services, okay, they offer digital marketing strategy, web design and development, but still, you see how they frame it? See how they frame it. Do you want to attract more calls, more consultations, and get more patients in less than 6 months? So this is what I am telling you guys. See, the outcome has to be clients in every single damn industry. Okay, so they're doing a good job, right? You see. They have such an amazing landing page. And forget the brand then, etc., etc. I'm talking about the copywriting and the way they're positioning themselves. Okay? See? The place to be to grow and scale profitable practices. Okay, so they know what they're doing. Now let's compare it to like some other marketing or like PPC agency. Okay? Forget the design, forget everything. So what do? We search engine marketing, we social media marketing, we do Facebook ads. But what is the actual outcome? See? Enjoy enhanced visibility and higher search engine ranking through experts. People don't care about this. Like, what is SEO? You know? So there we go, guys. I know a good marketing agency when I see that they talk outcomes, not necessarily the how. Right? Another reason why you don't want to work with marketing agencies is because they don't understand what people really want, okay? So people don't want pretty signs. They want more customers buying their stuff. So their customers get confused when businesses pay for marketing, but don't get more sales and they get mad, actually really mad, and they stop paying. Okay, so stay away from marketing. The next niche is going to be coaches, especially life coaches and mindset coaches. Those folks that say, I'll help people step into their power types. Okay, they're usually not it. Okay, so what they do essentially is they sell extremely vague outcomes. Again, we go back to outcomes, okay? So they've got a landing page, an Instagram bio, and a lot of like sparkles energy, but no offer that's clear or proven, okay? So what they do is essentially they help you feel more aligned, okay? So how do you actually measure that? You can't. So it's hard to build a sales system campaign that actually works for them, okay? Because we have to understand that good businesses solve clear problems, okay? But most coaches say things like, I empower high performers to break limits and beliefs. And I know a lot of people in the life coaching space, and trust me guys, they are broke. They're not making that much money, okay? Unless you're talking about like, let's say Tony Robbins level coaching, okay? He's a billionaire. So they usually have no money for your sales system. And they also expect huge results with tiny budgets. So most coaches if you're working with a coach, they're going to be like, I need 5 high ticket clients next week. My goal is $50K a month and I've only got $250 to spend. Is that okay? So as always, just avoid the headache. Okay. So now that we talked about the worst niches to work with as an automation or sales agency, let's talk about the best ones. Okay. So obviously we're going to have to talk about recruitment, guys. Obviously, because recruitment is like one of the best niches, okay? And actually my first sales campaign was sold to a recruitment, okay? So recruitment agencies just have a clear and simple job. They help companies find workers. It doesn't get more straightforward than that because companies are always hiring because people leave jobs or companies grow and need more workers, okay? Everyone knows this. And also every industry needs workers, whether it's a tech company and a hospital or restaurant, they all need new people to help run things. Okay. Another thing is that they make good money. The agency gets a commission. This means that when they place a person in a job, they earn a percentage of that person's salary. The bigger the job, the more money they make. So just give that some thought. Okay. And another thing is that in the US, there are around 100,000 new companies every year, just in the US. So that's a lot of people who will need recruitment help. So there are many opportunities to work with recruitment agencies. So we're not just reaching out to the same people. Okay. Another thing is that the recruitment industry has many sub industries, which makes it even more profitable. So there's multiple ones. There's tech recruitment, healthcare recruitment, construction recruitment, education recruitment, finance and accounting recruitment, customer service recruitment, and so on. Okay, so everyone can eat. The second reason that I want to talk about was essentially gold, and it is healthcare AI. Now, AI in healthcare is an interesting growing niche with a massive potential for growth. And just to give you guys some context, I closed like a big deal back in December with a Microsoft affiliate. And let me walk you guys through the actual company. It's called Healthcare AI. And essentially what they do is that they deploy voice agents. You've been working in tech for such a long time and you need to touch some grass when you start saying words like deploy instead of use. So what they do is they use voice agents that speak to patients, which is extremely creepy, right? But it works, right? So they are funded. You can see here, like they're funded by Y Combinator, which is like, if you guys don't know what Y Combinator is, it's basically like a startup accelerator. They basically fund companies and they also provide mentorship. So what they want is these AI companies, like this company that I'm talking about, they want to cut down on costs, and they also want to reduce headcount. So these AI voice agents, they essentially talk to patients. And look at this guy. Yeah. So AI workers for better care ops. So that's interesting, right? So like I said, AI in healthcare is changing the way medical organizations and clinics deliver care, manage patient data and ops. So they want to reduce headcounts, lower costs, and to give you guys some gold here, their ideal clients is always going to be some sort of like healthcare organization or clinic, okay? So the cool part here is that we already know who these people are. So with our sales system, we can automatically find them and make the intros, right? Make the intros with these clinics that I just mentioned, okay? So they also get funded like crazy from big dogs like OpenAI, Nvidia, and like I said, Y Combinator. And if you guys wondering how the hell do you tap into these niches? Well, let me put you guys on game. So I'm subscribing in a bunch of newsletters, and these newsletters actually just send me daily emails about recently funded startups. And sometimes like you can spot some like hidden niches. And this is how like I tap into some hidden niches that most people don't actually know about. And what I do is essentially like I have like a strategy session where I basically do my research about these niches and I just go ahead and target them. And if you're wondering, Saad, why are you mentioning this? Well, I mean, the earth is pretty big. Like we all can be profitable at the same time. Like money is everywhere, right? Like we don't have to like gatekeep everything, right? So this is the healthcare AI industry. I would really recommend you guys go for it. Now, let's just go for the big one, which is B2B Tech. Now, B2B Tech, obviously, like B2B Tech is just a gold mine, okay? Because we need to understand the B2B Tech or the tech industry is always changing. There's always new tools and software popping every single day. And businesses in this space are always looking for ways to stay ahead of the competition. They want to crush their competition. Another thing is that they're always hiring. For some reason, they're always hiring, always buying, always moving, always doing things. And most importantly, you're not selling a vague marketing offer, just like we mentioned, okay? Another thing is that they have budgets. So these folks have money. So most B2B tech companies are backed either by VCs, grants, and they have a strong cash flow. So when they need something, they don't hesitate to spend. So essentially, you're not pitching, you're matching demand that's already funded. So because I want you guys to understand and I want you guys to actually make this your mantra, your doctrine, the first thing you need to do when you want to pick a niche is it has to have money in motion, okay? And B2B tech companies have a major advantage. They usually aren't bootstrapped mom and pop shops trying to figure it out, okay? So instead, they fall into 3 buckets, okay? And let me just explain this. So they fall into the VC funded startups, and these are aggressively growing. You can easily scrape them off Crunchbase and Y Combinator. So they are always hiring, actively buying new tools. And there's also this one right here. It's called Enterprise SaaS. So these companies have budgets locked in every quarter, whether it's Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. So they have money and they have multiple decision makers for every function, okay? Another thing is profitable agencies or product-sized tech companies. They also fall into the B2B tech industry. So they have strong cash flow, lean teams, and constant need for efficiency. So it makes it an ideal customer for a sales agency or like an automation agency. So another big advantage is that you're not trying to convince anyone to spend, okay? They already are, so you're just plugging into the spend that's already happening. And let me give you guys some gold here. Let's use the Meyer Process Connector angle. If someone is hiring, if a B2B tech is hiring for RevOps, okay, and if you guys don't know what a RevOps means, it's called a Revenue Operation Manager. And it's the team or person responsible for aligning sales, marketing, and customer success, and also tech and CRM infrastructure. So if you spot a company hiring for RevOps, right, they're already feeling the pain, and you can shortcut the process by introducing them to a vetted solution, team, consultant, tech agency faster than any HR department. Okay, so this is kind of like a golden information that I had to throw here. Okay, another huge thing is that the data is pretty much everywhere. Okay, so they live online. Decision makers are always constantly posting on LinkedIn, so you can see what tools they're using, what roles they're hiring for, what partnerships they're announcing. So it's basically all public, which means you can scrape their pain points, milestones, recent activities in 10 minutes and have a super personalized outreach that makes closing deals easier.
So these are some of the niches that I recommend you go after. It's going to save your time and energy rather than constantly spinning new wheels. Remember, the ants go where the sugar lies, So go where the money is. So get out there, take action. I believe in you, and I'll talk to you soon.